Hey girl, welcome to the Black Girl Voices podcast. I'm Shivaun,
And I'm Whitney.
and every week we get together to laugh, cry, shade, and share everything from pop culture to racism.
So grab your headphones and your oversized mug and come and join the conversation.
Welcome back, Black Girl Voices family and friends, because y'all family now. We in episodes 12 and 13 and 14, and
Lord,
we're nearing the end.
Lord have mercy.
We're nearing the end of the season, y'all.
Already, God.
We are. So Whitney and I committed to doing like 15 episodes a season. We want to also give ourselves time to like regroup, amp back up on the episodes and just like take a couple months off, y'all, because like we be out here and we got kids.
Listen, we're not disappearing.
Okay, we're not disappearing. We're gonna be here.
We're gonna be here. Yeah,
we're gonna be here. But it'll give you time to listen to all the old episodes.
Yeah, catch up.
Join the Patreon to listen to those episodes because we be having a kiki over there. Okay,
we might keep posting on the Patreon.
Oh yeah. Patreon will still get some stuff because we still have like a little arsenal of episodes still.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That won't.
We be talking.
Yeah, we do be talking.
We be talking.
But how are you? I saw you're doing. Is it bar?
Oh,
the
girl.
Pilates thing?
Oh my gosh, that Pilates bar it's abusive, but I love it.
It's so great. Only hear that. I hear everybody say how terribly, horribly awful it is, but they love it so much.
I love it. It's like the worst thing I've ever done to my body, but it's so good. Like I can't find another way to accurately describe how terrible. Like, cause it's like hurt me so good sort of thing.
Yes,
yeah. And it finds all the muscles in your body that you like never worked in your life. It's like, hey, let's tug on this right now. You're just like,
But I love that though. Like I love finding, especially like in our 30s, right? Like something that obviously nothing feels good when it's hurting in the moment, but something that you actually enjoy because there's always been like this negative connotation around fitness for me because I would obsess over it. So I would go to the gym for hours on end. Like I remember the first time like I lost like a lot of weight. I was going to the gym 2 times a day, hours on end. And if I wasn't like hurting, then I was like, I'm not doing it right.
Right. No.
But then the older you get, you just want to like, I just want to move my body to feel good, to feel lighter, to feel faster, stronger.
Right, exactly. Like that was my whole thing. Like I just wanted to feel strong and I wanted to be back in my body. Like I felt so disconnected. After giving birth, and like people need to talk about like how those first few years after you brought a person into the earth, that your body is not normal, that you are not okay.
The body dysmorphia is so real, and it's not just looks. Like people, I mean, it is looks, right? Like we got to keep it real. Like you see your body completely different. You're like, whoa. But I remember feeling like, and still to this day, is something I'm wrestling with, but feeling just like a shell of a person, because the person that I see in my head is the person from pre-baby.
Yeah.
But the person I see in the mirror is
not that person.
I see in the head.
And I'm like, wait a minute, who are you, lady?
Stuff feels a little different. It feels a little squishier.
Looks a little different. Like it's shaped a little different. But also, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm like pre-40. Like, I'm also just like the hell with body standards. Like, I just want... Child, listen, it was a journey.
I want to get there.
It was a journey, okay? I was not always there. And I told you I'm trying to soft launch into 40. Like, I want an easeful transition into 40 because my transition into 30 was abrupt because of the lifestyle changes I made.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that over at the Patreon. But it was so abrupt. And then I loved my 30s. My 30s were so peaceful. My 20s were shit. My
20s were shit. If you're in your 20s right now and people are telling you like, oh, this is the time when you get it together.
No.
And you find love. And this is the time when you just try to survive.
Let your brain close.
If you're not married, girl, it's okay, girl. In the street, okay? Get in the streets if that's what you want to do.
If that's what you want. Yes.
If that's what you want to do, go be in the streets.
Right.
The kids and the husband will come.
We'll come if that's what you want.
If that's what you want.
I didn't get none of that till I was in my mid-30s. None of that. And we need to, we need to talk more about that. That might be an episode because, child,
that's the Patreon episode for sure.
the expectation that you will have the picket fence by 24 years old, when your brain ain't even closed all the way, you don't even know what you actually want. You don't even know if you want to be married. You don't even know if that's like something that you like.
Or to have already bought like this house, right? Like I remember from my guilty thing was like there were so many people at age, I'd say like 25. I'm looking around, I'm like, everybody has a house. Why don't I have a house yet? Well, it's probably because the damn way the rates are right now. I should have bought a house in middle school.
Child.
If I wanted one, instead of learning algebra, I should have been buying a house.
Listen, I should have just been in the mill working to get my house. Something.
Should have been buying a house.
Should have been working on buying a house. I am the whole, like, I've just separated myself, or I'm in process of separating myself from those expectations of what is and what should be, because by all accounts and standards, I shouldn't have been married. I should have been a crone living with my dog, which would have been fine. Like, dogs are great, cats are great, like, pets are great, plants are great.
Listen.
However you want to live your life. But that was something that I wanted. Like, I wanted a family, but I wasn't going to put myself in a weird position to have it. It was just like, okay, when it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. And the family that you have is the family that you can make, like, far be it from me to say, there's lots of women who are choosing, or lots of people rather, who are choosing not to be partnered and creating their families. And that's their business.
Why?
That's their business.
And y'all are hearing this from two divorced and remarried people.
And remarried women.
I would rather be alone for the rest of my life than force myself.
Hello. Come on, somebody.
To be married to someone who is not good for me, or is just like, I'm just in this mediocre love. Like, it's not really like, I'm not in love. I'm not super happy, but I'm just like, it's okay.
Say it.
Just for the sake of standards.
Say it.
Because at the end of the day.
For the Easter pictures? Get the hell out of here.
Right. For Christmas pictures? Fuck that.
Matching pajamas and shit? Get the hell out of here.
And this isn't to take away from the people who are single and like yearning for companionship.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. And don't let society make you feel like you're thirsty for wanting that.
Absolutely not.
Nothing wrong.
But for the sake of just appearances, fuck that.
Get the hell out of here.
It will be me, my own income, having to just worry about my damn self.
Okay.
And my rose, okay?
Okay.
Y'all got a rose, you know what the rose.
Listen.
Hey, because that rose will take you from zero
to
another planet quickly.
Whatever you need in order to be happy, life is short. Listen. That's for the Patreon.
That is for
more the conversations for the Patreon.
Pleasure on the Patreon, because that's another thing that society shames, and there's nothing shameful for understanding your body, knowing your body, and being able to pleasure your own body.
No, but bringing it back to the body thing, like, I've been big all my life. Like, that, y'all talk about big back. I've had big everything. I've been various sizes of big. Then I went through that divorce and I went through depression and my body shrunk, and I was like, I love this body, but I hate where I am. And I'm like, I've never ascribed to being a certain size. I've ascribed to being healthy. I'm like, please, I want to play with my goal now is like, I want to dance with my daughter at her wedding. I want to dance.
Without being tired. Yes.
I want to dance. Yeah. I want to dance with my husband. I want to move in such a way that future me will thank me. I could give a damn about these jeans. They come in a bigger size, and if they don't, I'm gonna shop somewhere else. Like, I could give a damn about this swimsuit.
They're overrated anyway. Okay.
Listen, I got titties and ass.
Yeah,
I am a woman.
And the jeans don't be fitting the fupa. The leggings, I can tuck my fupa and my titties in the leggings.
Listen, and it's comfortable. I got room to move, which is what you need as a mom. I got room to move.
Yes.
So that's been my whole thing, and that's why I like started the bar. And then like yesterday we went for this like beautiful walk, and it was just like, it felt so good. And I feel myself coming back to my body. Good. I feel like, you know how like you've lived in a body for like ever and you know your body. And pregnancy really just threw me off of that. So it feels like, 3.5 years later, I'm coming back to it. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing good. Like, honestly, all of the sentiments that you just shared, very similar. Very similar. I will say we're a little frustrated. So we're in like the house buying process. Mainly.
God bless you.
So last year we did the whole thing, right? We did the whole like go get approved thing. Cool. After that, I want to say we house hunted for like 3 months, and then I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this. I'm not paying double for houses just because everybody's grabbing them off the market. So you got a house that's like $900,000, and y'all are paying $1.4 million just because you want it. So it's not worth. No, I'm not doing that. And then but like also we're in a space now too where like we desire ownership, and then on top of that, like it'd be nice for a little tax break too, you know.
Yeah,
right. So we restarted the process again for this year, and child, the way that lady said 7% on these damn rates.
You said 7.
7.
You said 7? Like after 6.
Like after 6.
But before 8.
It's 7 right now.
I'm gonna stay in this condo. I'm gonna stay in this condo forever.
What is going on?
It's fine. I like it. It's peaceful.
Honestly, if rent wasn't so crazy in DC, we're in DC.
Yeah,
and if rent wasn't so wild, because the amount that I spend in rent, honestly, like
just come to Philly.
I could pay double my mortgage. Honestly, if I could pick up my business and move it, maybe I would.
Like, listen, like.
But we're looking on the outskirts, so now we're gonna move outside of the city.
Okay.
Love DC, and I am like torn about the city. I love visiting a city, but I realize I don't love necessarily living in one because we're in.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful to live in a city as a person who used to live in a city.
Yeah, I want a little bit of land, not a lot. I don't need like a farm, but just like a little bit of land, some peace.
Not a farm.
And just like I miss like when people, in the city, people be having a lot going on.
Yeah.
And like they're angry at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Lots of noise.
Yeah, I just want a little bit of peace. So
I think that's why I like where we live, because like I used to live in a very active, very noisy part. And
it is quiet where you live. I forget I've been there. It is very quiet.
Yeah. And I think it's because there's a lot of old people who live here too. But like,
listen,
here for the elderly. Like, listen, I hope they don't mind us and our very loud, very opinionated free Black girl who lives here.
Yeah.
But
I love children. Like young children.
Children's fine.
That's like I'm not noise for me.
I don't mind that. It's the cussing people out at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, child.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so angry?
What is wrong? Go to sleep. You're angry because you're tired. Go to bed. Yeah. Go to bed.
So yeah, so that's where we're at. I mean, again, all of that is very first world problems, but they still matter. Okay.
No, we asked you how you're doing.
I know, but I think there's like this guilt right now too, which I'm struggling with that. Like that's a me problem. But I struggle with the guilt of like having my needs met. Like my needs met, having a safe home for my kids. Like I struggle with that because of all that I am like, and because you're immersed in this work too. We see so much terrible,
it's awful
things all the time. And I'm doing a better job at like not consuming that daily, which also is a privilege. I understand, but not consuming that daily. But I still feel like guilt for it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm trying to work on that.
I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I think the thing that was freeing for me is to recognize that as we stand in these positions of privilege, that we too also have to live.
Yeah, that's true.
We also have to live. We also have to feed our families. We also have to be, present mothers and present partners. We also have to, we have to take care of ourselves. And that this is a conversation that is steeped in privilege. Like we have to be 100% honest about that. We do, but we also there's a lot of care that is needed, especially for the work that we do. And I guess it really must be something in the 40-year-old of it all, because I'm like I'm getting to the point where I'm going to stop apologizing for taking care of myself.
Right.
I'm getting to that point where I'm going to stop apologizing for taking care of myself. I'm also going to stop apologizing for wanting better for me and mine.
Yeah.
I know that it's a privilege that we don't go to sleep to the sound of bombs. Like, I know that it's a privilege that we don't go to sleep to the sound of like gunshots in our community. Like, I understand that. And I can still talk to my friend and say, hey, looking for a house is awful, and looking at schools is it's
Right, rough.
annoying, and
Yeah.
I could still be tapped in, and I could still use my voice, and I could still use my platform, but also acknowledge that I too have a life outside of this.
Right.
And I think that, I've been wanting to voice this for a while, so I'm really glad that I keep having these like really big thoughts and no place to put them, and then we have these shows, and I'm like, oh my goodness,
That's
look at
what
the
it's
doors opening.
for, though.
Look at the
That's what it's
doors opening.
for.
I get mad. I get really mad at the people who try to out woke each other.
Oh, child, this could be the entire episode because
should it be?
I'm
Because
I
it
got something.
can.
I'm
I got
add
time.
to that.
Do you
Once you're
have
done, I'm
time?
adding.
Because I have time.
Huh.
Because I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. I think I was like, I had shot like a random video about, my daughter and I, and we like to, like, I'm a plant mom. So it was like,
Right.
I'm talking about growing things and like how we were really enjoying that, and how like she's discovering all this new stuff, like how plants grow and when they come through the soil, and like we could see like the roots, because like the way I planted them, I planted these clear planters, so she could see the roots coming in, and
Oh,
it was like,
I never thought to do that. That's so
it's
smart because Clifton
magical.
loves the little beginning to end of it all now.
Yes, it's really like a magical process, and someone was like, this is a really privileged conversation for somebody who should be more focused on, and I immediately deleted the comment because I'm like, fuck you.
What is
like,
but I am curious though. What is privileged about planting a plant?
no, it was like, there's other important things to talk about in this world, and I'm like, herein is the all right, I'm just gonna fucking say it. Are you invested in actually helping people's causes, or are you more invested in posturing like you are? Because more people are more comfortable with looking the part than actually living the part. Baby, let me tell you, I'm not here to toot my own horn, but I do my research.
Yes.
I spend time listening, and this is not me tooting my own horn.
No,
This
no,
is
no,
not
no.
me. See, look, I'm doing an apology thing that I just said I was going to
Right,
do. You see
no,
me? You
but
see me?
no, I that's so hard though. That is
Yeah.
like a deconstruction thing of its own.
It's
Not to be
gotta be.
apologizing for things.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be. But like, I work in this space, and it's just like, yes, I work in this space. I also have a 3-year-old, and I also have a husband, and I also have joy, and I also have things that make me laugh, and I also want to shake my ass on occasion, and I
Yes.
also, like, I am a human too. I'm not just a bot for social justice.
But I've had a bit of a realization of where that comes from, right? When you are either new to activism or you're doing it for the sake of self, you don't understand how to incorporate it into your everyday life. And so when you see other people doing it, all of a sudden it feels like they're not doing what they should be doing
Enough.
because
Yeah.
they're not activism every day, because you don't understand that not everybody, I'm not speaking for everybody, I'll speak for us. You don't understand that some of us know that this is lifelong for us. So we have to understand how to incorporate it into our everyday life. Baby, that's the conversation sometimes, because I had to check myself the other day, because I looked at my social media and I try to post more consistently, but not necessarily activism posts, just post more consistently, because y'all know the damn algorithm and the whatever. I just try to post more. But I looked at my page the other day and I was like, wow, I haven't, like, on my personal page, not Black Girl Voices, and I was like, wow, I haven't like shared anything about what's like the state of the world in, like, I think it's like 2 weeks. And like I posted a lot about like my more personal life. And I said, why the hell would I just write something just to write it? Why am I sharing something just to share it?
Say it.
Like, it's lifelong for me.
Right.
Because y'all might not see it, but I just had a conversation with my son the other day who, for him, because for kids it's so simple, and I wish our government thought like kids, but he said, we were talking about the atrocities that happen in Gaza, and he said, Mom, that's still happening? And I said, yeah, baby,
Poor
unfortunately
baby.
it's still happening. And he was like, so what exactly, like, explain to me what's going on. He was curious, and so I explained to him from the beginning, and I'm not going to get into it because whatever. I explained to him from the beginning. And yeah, that was our conversation. And he said, so if Israel's breaking international law, doesn't our government have a duty and a responsibility to do something about it? And then he said, and isn't there like a group, he was talking about the UN, but he didn't know.
Yeah.
He's like, isn't there like a group who's supposed to like stop people when they get like out of control? It's like stop countries when they get out of control. And I said, yep. And then he said, so why aren't they doing anything? Like why would they just allow people to keep killing kids? Okay.
You know,
these are the and in my mind, I'm like, damn, this would probably be a mind-blowing conversation for the people in government who act like it's not that simple. But anyway, these are the conversations that we're having offline, because if you're doing activism, that's activism in your home, that's activism in your family, that's activism in yourself. I might not be posting a post online, but I'm reading.
I'm living
and that's
it.
The problem with some of y'all, and some of y'all activists too. I'm calling in some of y'all activists because you're so here. You've outwoked everybody. You're not learning from anybody. How the hell are you an activist and you don't have any teachers
or community?
Who are your teachers? Who are you learning from?
Right.
What book did you get this from?
Right. Or how are you operating in community?
How are you operating in community?
You've been so competitive with your activism instead of being community oriented that you have frustrated your relationships to the point where you don't even have community. You're just you're just a raving person on the internet, and that serves nobody, because remember, the entire purpose is for our collect. So if you don't have community, if you're not involved in some type of communal situation, then you're already out of line, because this is not about our personal egos. It's not about our personal piety. This is about our shared liberation, our shared freedom. And if we can't even get to that point, then
and what's the point of liberation if we cannot live in some sort of joy or live in the real world? Y'all want us to live online with, activism. What is the point if we're not living if we're not working for the very thing that we should be able to live, that we should be able to model?
Right. Amen. Say it.
Child, I really have. It has been very hard for me, because one thing that I will say I've done really well over the past few years is, especially when I got really, really heavy into the activism space online a few years ago. Because I've always written, but I will say, like, I got very activism focused, probably in 2020. And I remember feeling so much shame all the time with the people I was in community with, because it was always like, girl, you didn't know that? Or you didn't know this? Or you didn't know that? No, I didn't. I picked up a book, like, because I would read something and I'd be like, oh, like, I read such and such and such. You didn't already know that? No, I didn't grow up reading academic journals. I'm so sorry. In elementary school,
I did not read the autobiography of Malcolm X in third grade.
King, and my parents, taught me a little bit on the side.
They
but
did
no,
the best they could.
They did the best they could. But no, I am learning my own history now. I am reading all of those books that y'all apparently read for bedtime stories. You read All About Love by Bell Hooks for your bedtime story at 3. Yes, I just read it last year. I'm so sorry. Oh yes, I'm learning who Angela Davis is.
Oh, that bothers me.
I mean, I've always known who she was, but I'm reading all of her works now. Yeah, and they'd be like, you ain't never read, and I remember always feeling shame, and I did a very good job of purging those people out of my community, because those aren't the activists I want to be with.
No,
because y'all are very much doing it for self.
Personal piety.
Yeah. That's not what I want to do. So now it feels so icky to me when I see it happening, because it might not necessarily be somebody I follow, but I might like see an interaction, and I'm like, what is the prize for being more woke than everybody else? What is the prize for being more educated than everybody else? Now, I do think we do have to give people our flowers, like the people who are,
that's different.
Who have gotten their PhDs, and there are people who deserve their flowers, but then that is, once again, people we're learning from.
Yeah.
Who are you learning from?
Right.
Some of y'all just get on here and just woke. Good for you. I'm glad. You can't do yoga nowadays without them being like, did you know that was rooted in, I understand.
Girl.
That's what I'm doing it, okay? I'm reclaiming it because I'm doing it now.
Namaste.
So leave me alone.
Okay, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm stretching. Okay?
Yeah,
leave me alone.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's it's so annoying, and I hate the competitiveness of it all, because the point is community. The point is community.
And
How?
collective liberation. I
Yeah.
don't know, like, I know at this point that seems like a buzzword because it gets said so much, but, like, sometimes y'all have to be beat over the head with certain things, like repetition, like
Mm-hmm.
collective liberation, collective
Right.
liberation, collective. That is what we're doing.
Collective.
This
Heavy
collective.
on the collective part.
Everybody.
Everybody. We want
Everybody.
everybody free. Everybody. That includes oppressors too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't
And some of
realize.
y'all's activism is rooted in hate, and that ain't
Well,
baby. Some of y'all gonna be a little mad at me, right? Like I know
say it.
we kiki and we laugh, right?
Say it.
We are gonna continue kiki and laughing about oppressors, right? But
Mm-hmm.
wishing people
Oh, we're gonna
death,
make fun of them. We're
and
gonna
we're
continue to
yes,
make
we're
fun of them. Yeah.
absolutely going to always do that. But wishing
Absolutely.
people harm
Yeah, no.
is
No, no,
not
no, no.
collective liberation, and
No.
I don't care who they are or what they've done as a
Mm-hmm.
whole.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot separate people from the bad like the bad representers within their group, within their race, within their culture,
Right.
then you have some work to do because you're no better than the oppressor. Child, yeah, that's been on my mind for a minute too. The competition is just, I've done more speaking engagements than you. I've done more.
Okay.
I've written 5 books. What have you done?
Like.
Good. You know what I do? Now that I'm in a better financial situation, I donate a lot of money. Why? Because that is my form of protesting right now. That is
Mm-hmm.
my form of activism right now. Wherever
Listen.
I can spread a seed, wherever I can um sprinkle money
Mm-hmm.
into organizations, that's what I'm doing right now. And that
Right.
might look different from year to year. Y'all need to
Activism
understand.
changes.
It
It
does.
evolves. Like there was a point where I was out there with signs and
Mhm.
air horns, and 2020 came, and like all of the protests were erupting, and I wanted to go down there, and I had a whole baby in my belly, and my
Mhm.
husband
Child,
piped up and he
yes.
said, ma'am, I'm gonna need you.
Yeah. I know I be
You,
stressing
ma'am.
my husband out
Oh,
when it went to
we stress our poor
the
husbands out.
Palestine protests, the first one, the first big one that came to DC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, you know, I'm getting all my stuff together, and obviously he has to stay home because I'm not taking the kids. He
Right.
has to stay home, and I'm getting all my stuff together, and I'm putting, the milk in the book bag. I'm putting
Yeah.
the things that
The
you need.
things. The things. You
And
had your
he's like,
mask and everything.
well, what do you need this for? Well, why do you need that? Well, do you think that this is? And I'm like, babe,
Oh
you know that this is like
no. You
who
know
I
that's
am,
love.
who I need to be happy. I have to be immersed in this from like that's me. Like that's
That's
my
who you
love,
are.
right?
Yeah.
And so he knows that. So like he would never be like, no, don't go, but it still stresses him the hell out.
No, no, mine straight up said like absolutely not. You
Oh, pregnant? No, babe. You
carry
gotta stay your ass
your
home.
ass back in that living room, put your feet up, sit in the air conditioning, have some water. I'm gonna turn on a movie.
Get on social media and
Go
protest
ahead.
that way for now,
Go
because you
ahead.
ain't
You
getting
want
over
to
that.
donate something? We can do that. That's fine.
But that's okay though if you're not marching in the streets, and I
It's got to
need people to
shift.
understand that.
But that's the thing that we don't understand. Like, there's no one way to be an activist. There's
Yes.
no one way to participate in the freedom of us all. Everybody plays a part. Everything is integral. Like, I saw Ashley Simpo. She had a tweet. Ashley Simpo, she tweeted, "Some of us are raising free Black children, and that is our protest." I
Child.
butchered it. I butchered it. She
Yes.
said it better than I could ever. When I saw that tweet, I was like, make it into a
Mhm.
decorative pillow. Thank you.
Mhm.
Make it
No,
into a decorative
seriously.
pillow. Because I was
Because
just,
the labor
yes.
of that is labor in itself. Like when I'm
Mhm.
raising my child, and I don't think y'all understand how hard it is to teeter between, like right now I'm teetering between, hey, I do have to teach you to do things to be safe,
Mhm.
like to
Oh
carry yourself
yeah.
in a way to be safe because you're a young
Yeah.
black, dark skinned, tall, all
Athletic
5'10"
child, yes.
black boy,
They
right?
will make you out into a threat in a
So
second.
free for me has to have conditions right now. And
Yeah.
I hate that. I really
Mhm.
do. But it has to have conditions. And so I'm constantly in this battle in my mind of like, how am I teaching him to be free while still putting stipulations on his freedom?
Mm.
That's hard.
Mm.
But it has to happen.
Mhm.
Because Trayvon Martin was just going to get some Skittles.
Listen, Tamir Rice was just playing in the park.
Ahmed Arbery,
Mhm.
yes, was just jogging
Going for a
around the
run.
neighborhood.
Mm. Mm.
Like, there has to
Mm.
be a certain level. Yeah, child.
And
Yeah.
that in and of itself is like an immense challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But I need people to know that being out in the street and protesting a sign is a good thing. but it's not the only thing. And because some people will never be able to do that, but they will raise the hell out of their kids to make wonderful people. They will donate. They will write to their legislators. They'll run for office. They will sit in at the school board meetings. They will activate their own communities. They will serve meals. They will show up to the churches to try to help. They will show up to the churches and try to prevent them from doing terrible things. Like there's all kinds of people who do all kinds of things.
And we need every single one of those. But the point is, and I do want to say this isn't for those people, right? Because when we talk about this, I want to say that this is an emphasis for Black people, because I do think that white people should be doing a lot more on the front lines.
Absolutely.
A lot more of the labor, a lot more of the mental and the physical labor, because we are balancing existence.
Hello. Say it.
And leading all of these movements.
Say it.
So this is not for the people who, when everything went down in October, were posting on Christmas, oh well, the reason I'll never advocate for other people is I need to protect my mental health. That's not for you. It's not for you. No. It's not for you, because we know you just wanted to post your clothing hauls without feeling guilt. It's not for you.
No, you need to step up.
Child, I needed that.
Well, it's been such a point of frustration for me, and like
it takes away.
It does. It's like
from the actual point.
This stuff actually like matters to me as a human being, as a global citizen, as a person who finds connectivity in every single person on this planet. It's frustrating to me and I know people are going to jump down my throat when I say it, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. As a Christian who believes that we are all created in God's image, all of us, that means our trans brothers and sisters and non-binary family. That means our disabled family. That means everybody who you disagree with. That means non-believers. Like to me, every single one of us was created in God's image. Every single one.
All across the globe.
A lot of my faith is infused with my activism. Now that's not true for everybody, and it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
That part is okay.
But for me, individual, me Whitney, speaking about me Whitney, my faith informs my activism, and my activism also informs my faith. Like,
I will go as far as to say, and the Christians ain't gonna like this one, honey.
Child, they don't like the show.
Yeah. They left a bad review.
They were the ones leaving the bad reviews. Leave a church.
If you're a Christian, you should be doing some form of activism.
The loudest. You should be some of the loudest, the most active.
Jesus was an activist, babe.
He was. He was actually doing things.
I'm so sorry to tell you.
So, listen.
The activism didn't just stand in the pulpit and say, pray for all of those. Jesus was out here. He was doing shit.
He fed a bunch of folks on a mountain. Now he's not asking us to do those same feedings. He said, no. I'm not. I don't need you to make miracles happen, but
stuff actively.
You know,
he was preaching to people who weren't just going into the temples, because then that's y'all's problem too. You go into go into this one space and you're like, I'm gonna just do activism in this one space. No, Jesus reached out to the people who didn't look like him, who didn't act like him,
regularly,
a life like him, and he was loving on them too.
Can we talk about that feeding of the 5,000? It was the thing that breaks me up about that. It was the feeding of 5,000 men. They never discuss the children that were also there, the women that were also there. So it was 5,000 men. Their estimates, this is me doing that weird research that I like to do. Their estimates, it was like up to like something, could have been like 20,000 people. And remember what that miracle was. The miracle in the feeding of the five, this is a Bible study for those who understand this story. If you are not one of those people, you don't read the Bible, that's okay.
It's okay.
You are still welcome to sit in here. The miracle was that they had that baby's lunch. They had that little boy's lunch of a few fish and a few loaves.
Okay, yes.
And the miracle happened when they took the little that they had and started to share. The miracle happened when they took the little that they had and gave it to Jesus. They said, I don't have a whole lot. I can't do a whole. hear me. Here's the sermon.
Right.
Catch it. I
Lady,
can't
I
do
love
a
her on
whole
TikTok.
lot.
She'd be like, here, catch it.
Catch it. I love that lady. You gotta bring it down slow. Bring it into your heart.
Oh, I got something to add on after this. Go ahead.
But here it is. The miracle, and this is for the believers, the miracle happened when they said, I don't possess a lot. I don't have a lot of money, or I don't have a lot of time, or it's just me in this house with these kids. The miracle happens when you take your little bit and hand it over to Jesus and say, I don't have a lot, but you can have what I got, because what I got, I'm dedicating to you. And the miracle happens in Jesus's hands. The miracle happens when Jesus gets a hold of it. The miracle happens, and then they're passing out, and it multiplies. It multiplies in his hands, and it multiplies so much that even the leftovers, there was enough for each disciple to have a basket of leftovers. Hear me. There's abundance in our faith.
Whitney will be preaching in about 5 years. I'm going to go ahead and claim that. Okay.
I told you it happens.
She'll be in the church.
Because to be fair, like, this is what I did with my little social media account.
Yeah.
Like, I said, God, I have like 10 followers, and all of them are people like I know in my neighborhood, but here, if this is what you want me to do, and I just been doing it
to 100, God, and I'll let you multiply it, Lord.
Okay, you don't have to have a lot to be effective. You just have to be available. God is not asking us to have abundance. He's asking us to be available, and it's very, very different. And it's the same thing that people are asking us out in the world. And it's wild that people who have no belief have more understanding of what Christians should be than the Christians themselves. And it frustrates me to a point of like tears, because it's like, the world knows who we are, and God knows who we are, but we are so selfish, and we just want to sit around and feel full and be preached to and speak about my abundance, speak about my issue, and gimme, God. And God is sitting there, and the world is sitting there, and everyone is confused because we are not living up to who we supposed to be. Child. And it just frustrates me so much.
That was a sermon.
I'm done.
That was a sermon.
I'm done.
But to close and summarize all of that for y'all. Okay. I think that it is crazy how so many Christians are confused why we haven't seen a miracle. All of these miracles done globally. When what Whitney said, y'all aren't willing to give a little. That's a little bit of your time. That's a little bit of your love. That's a little bit of your money. That's a little bit of your effort. That's a little bit of your labor. That's a little bit of your mental capacity. That's a little bit of your care. Y'all aren't willing to give a little bit in the activism space, but you want to see miracles happen on a global scale, right? And then this is another thing too, because I know, how can God let this happen? God didn't let it happen, man.
God didn't. Yeah.
God did not. God does not starve children and let people bomb. Man, let it happen. We have
free will thing.
We have free will.
Because God didn't.
And because y'all won't give a little bit.
Say it.
How is he supposed to give a lot?
Because remember, he didn't want to create robots. He wanted to create relationships with people who chose to be here. Just like with your children. Like, we can love our children and we can raise our children. When they get to be a certain age, their relationship with us is a choice.
Yeah.
A choice.
That too.
Okay.
And some of y'all gonna be real sad at the choices they make based off of the people that you choosing to be.
Shady Pines. Listen. Full of them. Full of people who don't understand why their kids ain't call them. Full of people who don't understand why they don't have a relationship with these people that they raised. Meanwhile, they were monsters to their children, and then don't understand why their kids avoid them.
Yeah,
it's the same situation. We talked about a lot on this podcast.
I don't even know what the topic is, but I do know I got a grievance.
Let me hear it. Oh no, not the head tilt.
I had to give a little moment of silence.
Y'all have to understand the nonverbal communication. Is nonverbal.
He knows every time when I'm coming out I'm either coming out swinging or I'm about to be really truly unserious.
It's her head tilt that does it, y'all.
This one be a little bit of both, I think.
Oh my goodness.
I can. Okay, sorry. Let me gather my words.
Say it.
I know for a fact that y'all Taylor Swift fans have no clue what the fuck what the
Okay.
fuck feminism is. Because every time somebody says, I don't really vibe with Taylor's music, y'all say, you're supposed to be a feminist. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Just because I don't like to listen to bubblegum in a dish. How many people do
off the phone, Shivaun.
Does not mean I'm not a feminist. If I don't think something's good, that does not mean I'm not a feminist. And furthermore, okay, and this is the end of my grievance. Do not try to rationalize, I wish I could live in 1830s without all the racism. Don't try to rationalize it to me. That shit is stupid. It's dumb. It is tone deaf. It is the most
very privileged
shit I've ever seen in my life. You want to live in 1830s without all the racism? Bitch, what? And then somebody tried to, oh, Lord Jesus, I need to stay out the comments. Somebody was like, well, that's what she's doing. She knows that like rage or controversy sells, and y'all are so stupid you buy into it.
Who's buying it?
So
none
you're
of us are buying it.
Well, because they're saying like more people will talk about it. So here's my thing. So this person who you're saying is such like this big feminist, the feminist icon, you know, she's y'all Susan B. Anthony of 2024.
This is their king. This is their king.
Y'all's king. This person is willing to say some out of pocket shit for the purpose of outrage, because that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
We don't have to like Taylor Swift.
We don't have to.
Okay? And I know somebody's coming with some Beyonce shit. Shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of the comparison. There's no comparison.
Stop it.
Stop
comparing.
Stop it. Okay. Go ahead, dox me, because then that's another thing.
No, you better not. You better not dox her.
No. I know that's
I'm a fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, go ahead and come to this house, and that's all I'm gonna say.
You're gonna have a lot of regret.
Right. Then you're gonna have a lot of regret.
Or
there might be some airbrush t-shirts. But anyway,
no, I want to join in on this one. No. Because that's my grievance too, and I didn't know how to say it.
I'm just gonna say it because I realized before I've been biting my tongue because the fan base is so vitriol. And here's the thing: I think there's a lot of toxic fan bases, right? Absolutely.
Oh, all of them.
Even as much as I love the
all of them are toxic.
The Beehive, sometimes y'all do too much. If you're defending anybody on the internet who you don't know profusely over the sake, and you're not defending their music, you're just defending them, people you have no clue who they are. It's mental illness.
Y'all can stop.
Yes, but what I've noticed with this fan base is y'all are saying this person is like this great feminist. Why are there so many racists within the fan base? Because it don't be like, oh, you don't like Taylor Swift, fuck you. It be you're a porch monkey, you're a gigaboo, you're a tar baby, all this shit.
Tar baby, not a tar baby.
How? Hello?
Shivaun is preaching on here, y'all. Y'all can go ahead and pass the plate now, because no, that's a word. Why is the fan base so full of hate?
Yeah, because what does racism have to do with you being mad that I don't like your queen?
It's okay for people to not like things, y'all. It's okay.
That's fine. And notice how I never said that the music is trash, because I think that's subjective.
I don't think that's fair for people to say. Yeah.
I think it's very subjective. Do I like it? No. I can say I don't like it. But saying it's
trash.
Allowed
to not like things.
Now that lyric, that song, that's trash.
That particular lyric was garbage.
Trash. But for me to say the music as a whole is trash, no, because then I would be no better than the people who are just anyway.
No, you're right. You are absolutely right.
But I can say I don't like it, and I can say I don't understand the hype, and I can say that y'all have infantilized this woman as if I did not know until this year she was 34. I swear to God, I thought she was in her early 20s.
That woman is mid-30s. That is a grown.
She's my age, and you know what? We both don't have the same kind of protection on the internet. And I know she's a famous whatever, but y'all don't ride for 34-year-old black women the way you ride for the 34-year-old Taylor Swift.
Say it,
child.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And we're gonna ride together, because a lovely woman, I forget her account name. I think it's like and welcome to on TikTok, did a 4-minute breakdown of that lyric, and she said, you know what else was going on in the 1830s? She's like, I'm gonna do this from the perspective of that 1864 abortion ban. And she was like, it's very privileged to be able to look at this situation, talk about, what rights women have, and, the age of consent in 1830 was like 9 years old. And she said, black women never had the age of consent.
No, hell no.
She said, She was like, she's like, and pull back. We're talking about Arizona not being a state in 1864. And whose land was that? She's like, the points that y'all keep coming from. I'm trying to tell y'all, go watch this video because it was so good. And Welcome To was the lady's name on Tickety Talk. Yeah, the points that she kept hitting were just like, she's like, y'all have a really narrow view, a really white view. But also, what my esteemed co-host and creator of this establishment, this wonderful, beautiful platform has said.
Fine dining establishment.
Fine dining establishment. Stop comparing them two ladies.
Please,
you can like, you are able to like whatever you like.
And be fucking for real, though, also.
Yes. All right, so I said it somewhere else. I'm going to say it here. Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter had to be excellent to get where she was, where she is. She had to be impeccable. She had to have a work ethic that was out of this world. She had to be such an incredible performer that even y'all whites had to take note, right? All Taylor Swift had to be was relatable and accessible. Therein lies the difference. There was an article, and I talk about it a lot, and I need to find the name of this writer because the way that this person put it was so beautiful. She said, we need to stop comparing the two ladies because Taylor Swift paints where Beyonce sculpts. They're two different mediums, two different art forms. There's nothing wrong with liking painting. There's nothing wrong with liking sculpting. Hell, why don't you like both if you want to? If that's something that you like, go ahead and like it. That's fine. The point we need to stop comparing these two individuals. But it's also something that I've seen a lot because like y'all keep needing a white answer to a black thing, and it's bothering me because like this whole WNBA situation and Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah.
Like we have Aja Wilson.
Child, when I saw, go ahead.
Aja Wilson is in Time magazine.
You're talking about
Time magazine as one of the most impeccable athletes of our time, right? And this is not a Caitlin Clark diss. I hope y'all know this. Nothing against this young woman. She is
talented, great,
a very great athlete.
Yes.
But y'all keep needing a white answer to black things that you see. And you're finding a need to compare those things. And I keep finding these comparisons, and it's weird. It's like, why can't y'all just like Taylor? Why can't y'all just like her? Why do y'all have to compare her to a Beyonce?
And I think there's a good example for this, like what you said about Caitlin Clark, right? For instance, kind of like what Whitney is saying. Why could you have not just said that Caitlin Clark was good?
Yeah.
Why was it the LA Times are you saying that Caitlin Clark is America's sweetheart while the girls on LSU are the villains or whatever they said?
Angel Reese did not deserve
any
of that.
Why do we have to demean the black women?
Why?
To applaud the white woman?
Okay.
We're not saying the white woman doesn't deserve applause, but
we're not saying
every
that.
time we're applauding a white woman, a black woman is getting stomped on in the process.
Why do we need to do that? I need y'all to reevaluate this, like rethink this. Like I like Beyonce.
I'll give them a hint. It's racism.
It's racism.
Okay.
Just little ASMR.
Give me the starting point.
Yeah, it's racism. Like I like Beyonce. I don't need to compare her to anybody else. I simply don't.
And somebody on TikTok, I screamed. They said, y'all need to stop saying that Taylor Swift and Beyonce are peers. Beyonce's peers are Adele, Diana Ross, like some of the great. Taylor Swift's peers are Selena Gomez and Dua Lipa. And for real though, like let's be fucking for real, because somebody said that Taylor Swift was like her vocals were better than Adele, and
who lied? Who lied? Now listen,
I said
what we're not going to do is lie.
We're not going to talk about vocals. Okay.
Taylor is she's great at what she does, and like y'all can enjoy that. This constant need to compare and and contrast and combat is really weird, and it's like it's making the fan base. That's what makes the fan base so toxic. That y'all want to go out here and like act like these clans that are going to ride and destroy and fight and battle. This is fucking stupid.
Doxing someone, you are
going to jail. Also,
you are going to jail. You might be on a
crime. You're committing
crime,
be on a t-shirt, and it's documented. They can find out you did this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, child.
Listen.
No, that was a shared grievance. That lyric was trash. Y'all need to hold y'all were so willing to hold Lizzo and Beyonce accountable for using what is a slur.
It was, yeah,
it is a slur.
It is.
In the disabled community. It is a slur.
And then Beyonce take down her music immediately. Take down the music, remove the lyric, and then republish it.
Redid the whole thing. Lizzo
and
did
it's
the same
not
thing.
hard for them, y'all. Let's not pretend that like
it's not hard.
It's so hard
because they did it.
Because billionaires.
We just watched Lizzo and Beyonce do it,
and
that was what, last year? Maybe last year, maybe the year before.
Last year.
So you mean to tell me that after hearing so much backlash and so much big feelings about this lyric, we couldn't.
Who be in the rooms? Because you heard she said the song, even if it wasn't
none of us,
right?
None of us
who was unaware. You heard the music, you edited it, did whatever producers do. Somebody else went through and listened to it, and you were like, "Yes, that's the one. Publish."
Yes, that's the one.
The fuck?
Nah, child. I don't know why it still stands. Like, y'all were so excited for this double album. Y'all told Beyonce not too much. Meanwhile, that lady is over in Japan riding public transit, minding her own business. No, because
no clue what Beyonce is doing, but it is so funny to me at this point. She's just showing up places.
Well, yeah, in Japan, also in Japan, like she can do that, like, because the Japanese have a culture of like, we're not gonna be all up in your business, like, we're gonna let you be a person. And so, like, she got to get on this, regular commuter trains, and people were like, she's on a commuter train. I'm like, yeah, because she can, like, because they're gonna leave her alone.
To them.
It probably feels amazing to be amongst people and not be bothered.
Yeah, don't get
that probably feels so great.
Julius is probably right there.
Listen, Julius is making his presence known. Trust me, he ain't just leave him now. Now, anyway, that's all I have to say.
Anyway, we're gonna close this out, y'all. Listen, y'all, we put the question box up there. So yeah. One, so y'all could, write in, ask us questions, but two, also so we could be in your business.
We want to be in your business.
We want to be in your business. We want to share your business without your name, okay?
Oh, yeah, we'll change your name.
We'll change your name. If that's what you want, you can write that in the question box. If you want to ask advice, if you want to share like something you're going through and ask advice, if you want to ask for advice on like anti-racist stuff, but we just want to be in your business. We just want to
we can talk about anything. Like, girl,
anything. I want to know about your cheating ass husband.
Tell me about the vacation you getting ready to take and how you don't know what a plus size body should be in, because same. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Right.
We want to include y'all. So make sure that you write in. Also join the Patreon if you haven't. At this point, they're getting all the tea. I think they've gotten like 4 or 5 exclusive episodes at this point. So
come on over.
Join on over there. And shout out, Black Girl Voices hit 14,000 followers today.
Hey, turn up.
Make sure you're following Black Girl Voices. Make sure you follow our personal pages too, because we post a lot over there. At Shivaun_Elizabeth, at The Reclaimed. Follow, subscribe, all those things, and we will see y'all next time.